Imagine this, a young woman full of life, and dreams. She walks into an apartment building, like on a totally ordinary evening. And security cameras, they capture her arrival, but then she's never seen leaving again. It's chilling, it's like the beginning of a nightmare, really. And this is the story of Haley Henderson. She was this promising nursing student, and her life was cut way too short. And it's also about the complex web of international justice that her case kind of got entangled in. Welcome to CrimePod Castle's Twisted Crime series. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. So Haley, she was like everything you'd want in a friend. Someone you could always count on, or a good time, or a shoulder to lean on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
She had this infectious energy, like a zest for life.
Yeah.
And it just drew people to her. She was studying to be a nurse, right? She wanted to dedicate her life to helping others, and she had this dream of moving to California, embracing a more free-spirited lifestyle.
It's heartbreaking, isn't it? You can just see it from all the stories shared by her friends and family that Haley was just a truly special person. Someone who really touched the lives of everyone she met, makes the circumstances of her death, even more tragic.
It really does. And then you have Orlando Tercero, the man at the center of this story. He and Haley, they were both nursing students, right, at Binghamton University.
Yeah.
And they had this on-again, off-again relationship. But even early on, there were signs that something wasn't quite right.
Yeah, those red flags, those subtle hints of possessiveness and jealousy, they're often overlooked, especially when you're caught up in the whirlwind of a relationship. In this case, Orlando's behavior, it seemed to escalate over time.
Haley's friends and family mentioned incidents where Orlando would follow her, constantly text her. He even slashed her tires at one point. It's like he couldn't handle the thought of her, having a life outside the relationship.
Yeah, and what's so disturbing is that Haley seemed to downplay these incidents, maybe out of fear, maybe out of a misplaced sense of responsibility for him. Her friends remember her feeling guilty about Orlando getting kicked out of his fraternity, because of their relationship. It's just a tragic example of how guilt and compassion can sometimes make us vulnerable, to manipulation.
Yeah, it's true. It's a reminder that we need to trust our gut instincts and pay attention to those red flags.
Yeah.
Both in our own relationships, right, and those of our loved ones. Sometimes love can blind us to the dangers. The dangers lurking beneath the surface. March 8th, 2018. It started like any other day for Haley. She was hanging out with her roommates, just enjoying a casual evening, wine and board games.
Yeah.
Later that night, she decided to visit Orlando at his apartment. Security footage shows her arriving, but tragically, she's never seen leaving.
It's chilling, isn't it, knowing that this seemingly ordinary act was the last time anyone saw Haley alive. It adds another layer of complexity to the whole investigation.
The next morning, Haley didn't respond to messages, and her friends, they were immediately alarmed. They knew she sometimes, slept in.
Yeah.
But as the day went on, and still no word from Haley, their concern, it started to grow.
Yeah, the use of the Find My Friends app, that was a pivotal moment in the case. It showed Haley's phone was still at Orlando's apartment, sending shivers down the spines of her friends.
Yeah, driven by a growing sense of dread, right? They went to Orlando's apartment, hoping for the best, but fearing the worst. What they found inside would forever haunt their memories.
Haley's body was discovered in Orlando's bed. The cause of death, strangulation, just a brutal and personal act of violence.
And as the investigation began, another twist emerged. Orlando, he had vanished. He was nowhere to be found.
This wasn't a spur of the moment escape. Orlando had planned this meticulously. Surveillance footage showed him packing bags, removing potential evidence. He even bought sleeping aids, perhaps contemplating a failed suicide attempt.
Wow! So he drove to JFK Airport and boarded a flight, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and a grieving community, desperate for justice. But where did he go?
Orlando had flown to Nicaragua, his home country, and this is where the case takes an unexpected turn. The fact that he held dual citizenship, both American and Nicaraguan, it created a kind of a jurisdictional labyrinth that would complicate the whole pursuit of justice.
So even though a crime occurred in the U.S., his Nicaraguan citizenship shielded him from immediate extradition.
Exactly.
What a tangled web this was becoming.
Yeah, it was a situation that that really tested the boundaries of international law and raised questions about, about how to navigate justice. When national borders are crossed, it would become a race against time, a battle to ensure that that Orlando would be held accountable for his actions.
Haley's family was left reeling,
Yeah.
grappling with their immeasurable loss while facing the daunting prospect of an international legal battle. What happened next?
Is a testament to their unwavering determination and
the pursuit of justice across continents.
It's a story that highlights the complexities of international law and the lengths to which authorities will go to ensure that perpetrators, no matter where they flee, are held accountable for their crimes. Haley's case wasn't just like a story of heartbreak. It became this fight for justice, like across international borders. And as the investigation was unfolding, Nicaragua's refusal to extradite Orlando, it sent shockwaves really through Haley's family and the legal community. It seemed like an insurmountable obstacle, a barrier that could potentially shield him from facing any consequences, for his actions.
It's hard to imagine the anguish that Haley's family must have felt, knowing that the man accused of taking their daughter's life.
That's seemingly beyond their reach.
Of the American justice system.
What could they do in the face of such a jurisdictional hurdle? Well, this is where Haley's case takes a truly remarkable turn. Nicaragua, while unwilling to extradite Orlando, they made an unprecedented decision. They agreed to try him in their own courts for the murder of Haley Anderson. It was a move that surprised a lot of legal experts, and it offered this glimmer of hope for Haley's family.
So a U.S. citizen was going to be tried for murder in a foreign country. I'm sure that that presented a whole new set of legal challenges, right?
Absolutely. This was uncharted territory in many ways. Not only were there logistical hurdles to overcome, but the legal systems of the two countries, they had significant differences. The concept of femicide, the crime Orlando was ultimately charged with, it doesn't even exist in the U.S. legal system.
That's fascinating. Can you tell us more about this charge of femicide? Why was it applied in Orlando's case?
Well, femicide, it's a distinct legal concept, right, that recognizes the gender-based violence that's often present in the murder of women. It acknowledges the power dynamics and societal factors that contribute to violence against women. In Orlando's case, the Nicaraguan court, they saw evidence of this in his alleged possessiveness, his escalating harassment of Haley, and the brutal nature of her death. It was a landmark decision, really, a signal that that Nicaragua was taking a stand against gender-based violence.
That's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
But holding a trial in Nicaragua for a crime committed to the U.S., it must have been incredibly complex. How did they manage the logistics?
Especially with witnesses located, thousands of miles away. It required an unprecedented level of international cooperation and legal innovation. Video conferencing became the bridge between the two countries, allowing witnesses from the U.S. to testify remotely. Imagine Haley's mother, Karen, delivering her heart-wrenching testimony from thousands of miles away, staring into a screen at the man accused of murdering her daughter.
I can't even fathom the emotional toll that that must have taken.
Yeah.
It speaks volumes about the strength and determination of Haley's family to see this case through, to ensure that her voice was heard, even across borders.
The trial unfolded with the weight of international attention, really, a testament to the global impact of Haley's story. The prosecution, they meticulously presented their case, piecing together the timeline of events, Orlando's behavior leading up to the murder, and the forensic evidence that pointed to his guilt.
So what evidence did they present? What were the key pieces of the puzzle that convinced the Nicaraguan court of Orlando's guilt?
There is this chilling trail of evidence that painted a grim picture, really, of Orlando's actions. The security footage from his apartment building, the confession note found among his belongings, and the pathologist's report confirming strangulation, the cause of death, all pointed towards his culpability.
You mentioned a confession note. What did it say?
The note, scribbled in Spanish, it offered this glimpse into Orlando's state of mind. After Haley's death, he expressed remorse, writing, I'm really sorry about this. I never felt I could be capable of doing this. But were these words genuine, or were they A calculated attempt.
to mitigate his responsibility. It's hard to know for sure what was going on in his mind at that moment. But the prosecution certainly presented a compelling case. What about the defense? What was their what was their strategy in the face of such
overwhelming evidence?
faced with this mountain of evidence? The defense opted for a risky strategy, temporary insanity. They argued that Orlando's his heavy drinking on the night of the murder, it had led him to this state of diminished capacity, rendering him incapable of forming the intent to kill.
So they were essentially claiming that that Orlando was so intoxicated that he didn't know what he was doing, that he couldn't be held like fully responsible for his action. Exactly. It was a high stakes gamble, really, relying heavily on the court's interpretation of Orlando's mental state at the time of the murder. The defense called in a psychiatrist to
bolster their claim. But even his testimony couldn't definitively verify, Orlando's claims of memory loss or quantify his level of intoxication on that fateful night.
So even the expert couldn't say for sure whether Orlando was truly insane at the time of the crime. It sounds like the defense was, grasping at straws.
It was a challenging defense to make, considering the weight of the evidence against Orlando. But it also highlights this fascinating aspect of criminal law, the exploration of intent and the complexities of determining culpability when mental state is a factor.
It's a reminder that justice isn't always, black and white. There are shades of gray, legal nuances that can make these cases so intricate. But in Haley's case, the Nicaraguan court, they seemed unconvinced by the defense's arguments. They saw this pattern of possessive behavior, a calculated escape, and a crime that fit the definition of femicide. The world watched as the judge prepared to deliver the verdict.
A moment that would determine the course of justice for Haley Anderson.
What a tense moment that must have been. A young life lost, a family seeking closure, and a legal battle that had spanned continents. It all came down to this. You can just imagine, right? The tension in the courtroom. It must have been palpable as everyone waited for the judge's decision. This wasn't just about a verdict. It was about sending a message. About holding someone accountable for a brutal act of violence, against a woman.
Yeah, it was a pivotal moment, not just for Haley's family, but for the broader conversation about femicide and the pursuit of justice across borders. The judge, before delivering the verdict, she took the opportunity to speak directly about the issue of violence against women. She spoke passionately, condemning such acts and advocating for equal rights and protection.
Wow, that's powerful to use that platform, to address such a critical issue. It must have resonated deeply with those present, especially with Haley's family.
It was a clear message that this case was about more than just one individual's actions. It was about challenging a culture that often tolerates or minimizes violence against women. And then after what seemed like an eternity, the judge, she delivered the verdict.
Guilty of femicide. What a relief for Haley's family after all the uncertainty, the legal battles, the emotional roller coaster of the trial. They finally had some semblance of justice.
It's a landmark decision, a testament to the
dedication of both the U.S. and Nicaraguan legal teams who worked,
tirelessly
to ensure that that Orlando would be held accountable for his actions. Orlando was sentenced to 30 years in prison, the maximum sentence for femicide in Nicaragua. It sent a clear message that violence against women would not be tolerated, regardless of nationality or where the
crime was committed.
But even with the guilty verdict, even with the maximum sentence, the story it doesn't end there, does it?
Yeah. No, it doesn't. Orlando, as is his right, he decided to appeal the verdict. His legal team argued that the Nicaraguan court should have adhered to U.S. sentencing guidelines, which likely would have resulted in a shorter sentence.
Yeah.
They also requested a new psychiatric evaluation, hoping to build a stronger case. For temporary insanity.
So despite the conviction, there was still a chance that Orlando's sentence could be reduced.
Yeah.
That he might not serve the full 30 years. I can't imagine what that that period of uncertainty must have been like for Haley's family. The thought that the man who took their daughter's life might not face, the full consequences of his actions.
It was a long and agonizing wait for Haley's family. As the appeal process dragged on, they'd already endured so much. The loss of their beloved daughter, the frustration of the extradition battle, the emotional toll of the trial, and now they face the possibility that it might all be for nothing.
But they didn't give up. They continued to fight for Haley, to ensure that that justice was served. What was the outcome of the
appeal? After months of waiting, the Nicaraguan court, they finally delivered their decision. They upheld the original verdict. The request for a new psychiatric evaluation was denied, and
in the 30-year sentence
was affirmed.
That must have been such a powerful moment for Haley's family, a sense of closure, of knowing that that Orlando would indeed be held accountable for his actions.
It was a bittersweet victory. Nothing could bring Haley back. But knowing that her murderer was being held responsible, that he would spend, decades behind bars, it provided some solace, some sense that that justice had prevailed.
Haley's case is it's a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable loss, even when justice seems, elusive, the fight is worth it. It's a testament to the power of perseverance, the importance of speaking out against violence, and the unwavering love of a family determined to honor their daughter's memory.
It also highlights the evolving landscape of international law, the increasing cooperation between nations to ensure that criminals can't escape justice by simply
crossing borders.
Sets a precedent, a beacon of hope for
victims of violence. Their family. The story is a tragic one, a life cut short by senseless violence, but it's also a story of
courage,
resilience, and the enduring power of love. We must remember Haley, not just for how she died, but for how she lived, with a bright smile, an adventurous spirit, and a heart full of kindness.
And we must continue the conversation about femicide, about recognizing the signs of abuse and possessiveness, and about creating a world where women are safe, empowered. Haley's legacy, her story,
can be a catalyst for change, a reminder that we all have a role to play in preventing violence and ensuring that justice is served.
If you'd like to learn more about this case and others like it, please follow and subscribe to CrimePod Castle on your favorite podcast platform, and be sure to check out our YouTube channel for exclusive content and updates.
Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and remember, even in the darkest of times, hope and justice can prevail.